Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Zombieland Saga Episode 7. So sorry this is a bit late as I'm getting into this. This is probably like my fourth time trying to record this, but every time I've tried previously, I've been interrupted or prevented from doing so. So sorry this is a little bit late. It shouldn't be in the future, of course. But either way, it's like 10 p.m. My lighting's terrible. And I'm kind of tired. Yeah, sorry about all that. But either way, let's talk about this episode. I'm excited to talk about it because I loved it like I've loved every episode of this show. I'm like trying to not get confused with what I need to say here or what I've already said in previous attempts at recording. But one thing I feel about this show is that like there are some shows that even if they're really good, they're kind of hard to make yourself want to watch. But with this show, like every second of the show, I'm like wanting more of what's going on. And some shows that aren't even good are like that. And it's a factor of entertainment that I think is more important than anything else because you should want to watch a show. But yeah, I friggin' love this. And let's start talking about it from the beginning. So we start off with Junko still dealing with what she was dealing with at the end of last episode. And she has sealed herself within the Junko barrier. She has barricaded herself within her room or portion of this big house mansion thing they live in. I love the character interactions between all the girls. That's usually one of my favorite things in any show or series in general is character interactions. So in particular, I love that. We don't even really need the idol stuff. I would just watch a show about zombie girls living in a house together. I think that itself would be funny and entertaining. We didn't even need the idol stuff. But either way, Lily continues to grow into being kind of one of my favorite characters, possibly my favorite character. Like, surprisingly, I don't want to use the word mature, I guess, but she seems like one of the most, I don't know, reliable, the one consistently helpful and useful. She seems like one of the most, most helpful, most useful members of the group. She's kind of one of the ones holding them together and actually pushing things forward a lot of the time. More Saki than her. Saki is like legitimately doing great as a leader. She pushes a lot of the storylines forward. But Lily particularly has grown into being a character that I wasn't expecting to like, but I really like. Which is weird for her being the youngest one and everything. So Ai is practicing alone without all the rest, and she actually practices until she's literally falling apart. We have the scene where Kotaro talks with Junko, and that was actually a really good, serious scene with him, so that's not really totally expected. But he knows they've been using the computer, he just doesn't care. And the speech is good. There are a lot of good points to it, telling her that she's her own person. She's a zombie, not a robot. And she doesn't have to agree with what all the others think or do. She's her own person, her own character, and that can just be as simple as it is. She doesn't have to just go along with what all the others are doing. But because they're all zombies, they can't just... Normal people aren't going to just accept them that openly. So they need to be there for each other. They need to have each other's backs. So, again, it was a really, really good speech. And they even worked in some comedy bits where I love at the end, he's like, look in the box, fix the door. All that was great. Even a good, well, kind of important story beat is that he tells Junko about Ai's death, which is definitely important. But as she runs out to go join them as they're leaving to go do the Saga Rock Festival, she gets hit by the van, and I love all the reactions. I love Sakura's deja vu comment, but all the different reactions to it were so good. My favorite one was Saki. I guess it's because with her delinquent accent that she does, in addition to her getting super emotional and it always starts slurring her words more, but when he was like, it's okay, just leave her, and Saki just screams, you hit her with a freaking van. That part was probably my favorite of the reactions. But then we have the commercial sort of mid-cards things, and one of the cards was a new Cygames building card, and I thought that was really funny. We get to see Iron Frill perform, and this was really good and all. One thing that I guess with this episode is one regret I have, even though I loved the episode and thought it was great, I kind of wanted to see Iron Frill and Franchushu interact, whether they were interacting as just senior idols and junior idols, or whether they were interacting because they recognize Ai and were like, that's our dead friend. Either way, I would have liked to have seen them interact with each other, so I think that was kind of like something that I missed here that I wanted to see. The scene with Lily's art was so funny. Again, Lily being a funny and memorable character. This next thing I have in my notes, so Tai's boobs were huge in that outfit, like way, way larger than what it seemed like in any other scene she's been in. And I've seen some people saying that about their 3D models, like, damn, they are much, much larger in their 3D models than in the 2D art. So, yeah, that was just something weird that I noticed, that I was like, I do not remember Tai's boobs being like noticeably massive like that. One of the things that throughout this episode, and throughout the series, I guess, not just this episode, that I have loved are the rock fans showing up at every venue they've been to. When we first saw them this episode, I thought it was funny. I got a laugh out of it. But then at the end, after the lightning and everything, when the one was just like, that was nice, or whatever he said, I was wheeze laughing and the other one was crying. I thought that was so good. They were really, really funny. And I loved the running gag with them. They go into idle mode animation when they do their performance, and I am convinced. Like, there were some people arguing back and forth before. I was saying before, okay, they go into idle mode animation as sort of a reference / joke parody, making fun of how most idol anime do the performances in this 3D CG art style. So I was like, it's a joke. They don't need to do that. The animation looks great, so it's clear that they have the talent and budget. I don't think they're doing it on purpose, and I feel like that's further confirmed here, because the Iron Frill performance was an idol performance that was animated in 2D, and though, yeah, it is shorter and all that, it was animated quite well, really well. And then they go into the 3D stuff, and even more so, they always pop, whenever they're not doing idle things during their performance, they pop back into 2D even if everybody else is in 3D, and then they pop back into 3D when they go back to doing the idle stuff. So I really think it's just an in-joke and a parody of idle anime using the 3D animation. I don't think it's something that they actually need to do, or else they probably would have done it with Iron Frill as well. I don't know, but it's really interesting that they did the animation like that in such a specific way. Also, I love both songs. I love the new song they did, and they did after the lightning hit, they did kind of a, I don't know, was auto-tuned version of, I don't know if this is the actual name of the song, but I'm going to call it Awaken Returner, because that would make sense given the lyrics. But I love both of those songs. They're actually legitimately really catchy. And then the old guy, whose name I forget this week. I had it down last week, and I had it the week before this, but I forgot it this week. You don't have to remind me, because I'm sure I'll look it up if I need to, or I'll remember it. But yeah, the old guy was watching as well, so maybe he's finally realized who they are. I thought he did before, but he didn't, so maybe this time he has. And then, yeah, I just have in my notes at the very end, the rock fans had me wheezing. So that's basically it. To talk about the episode, I absolutely loved it. Every single week, this show is super funny and really, really fun to watch, which I think is really important. I have fun watching it. And then Zombie Girls are awesome. I want more Monster Girls in general. I want more just Monster Girls in anime. Zombie Girls, give me Robot Girls, give me furries. I don't know. Just like, I think that the sort of alternate or demi-human or monster species stuff is really, really cool. I always love series like that. I love Monster Girl series. I'm loving Tonari no Kyuketsuki-san, which is about vampires, which are I guess vampires are like the mildest of mild when it comes to Monster Girls, but still, it's something. I just find that there's so many stories, and especially with comedy, so many comedic things you can spin off of that. So hopefully this is popular enough that we have some more Zombie Girl shows in the future. Yeah, and then the last thing I had in my notes I already brought up. It's when I said I wanted them to talk with Iron Frill. So as a score, I'd give it 9.5 Techno Zombies out of 10 because I really, really did love it. One thing that I was originally like, I don't really like that much, was how they get struck by lightning and they're just glowing and shooting lasers now. But then I thought to myself, it's a show about zombies being idols, so I really think nitpicking the logic or the science behind this would be stupid of me. So yeah, I loved it. I had so much fun watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed too. Like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of the episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more. Zombieland Saga, tons more on the channel, and there's going to be a ton more next season as well. Cygames is going to be doing Minaria Friends next season, and I think I want to review that because I love the Shingeki no Bahamut series. So we'll see how things go. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or I can talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server, just ask and I'll give you one. It's free and open for anyone, and we can talk there about Zombieland Saga or anything else. There's been a lot of talk about Zombieland Saga because everybody loves it. Such a good show. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.